200 unarmed protesters in downtown Los Angeles, heavily outnumbered by thousands of heavily armed police and federal troops, expressed to these security forces how they feel about the mass detainments of undocumented immigrants around Los Angeles.
And you're defending that.
What you're witnessing in California is a full-blown assault on peace, on public order, and on national sovereignty carried out by rioters bearing foreign flags with the aim of continuing a foreign invasion of our country. We're not going to let that happen.
Several days and nights of protests in and around downtown Los Angeles have gripped the country and the world. Seeking refuge from this present protest 2 blocks away is LA resident Karina Lexington, a nurse who helps treat cancer patients, who says she supports the U.S. government removing violent criminals, but not honest working-class immigrants.
Look, nobody is against getting rid of violent criminals that make our world less safe, but that's not what they're doing. They're going into where people are working, where people are trying to make a life for themselves. We're a nation of immigrants.
What do you think of what's going on here?
I think that we are seeing an abuse of power. I think that we are seeing use of power that isn't correct or authorized or, supported by the people.
She says she's particularly concerned that U.S. federal officials didn't bother to inform local leaders in Los Angeles and California about the immigration raids, or that the U.S. president would call in the National Guard and U.S. Marines to be here.
They didn't tell us anything about, whether they were coming. They didn't talk with the mayor. They didn't talk with the governor about this. They just showed up and started raiding people. And that feels like an invasion. That feels like an occupation. And also, the public knows, when you start sending the military against your own people, firstly, there's the National Guard, which, nobody here asked for. And now, apparently, they're sending the Marines. You're turning this against us, the citizens. This is the first step in having martial law, and we know it. And that is why we're here, and that is why we're vocalizing so forcefully, because we don't want this to go any further.
We saw more images like this. We heard about Border Patrol agents who were being the target of rocks. These illegal criminals were throwing rocks at our Border Patrol and ICE agents, and so the president made the decision to federalize California's National Guard.
When you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you're not trying to keep anyone safe. You're trying to cause fear and panic. And when you start deploying federalized troops on the heels of these raids, it is a drastic and chaotic escalation and completely unnecessary.
Among protesters here is this young woman named Andrea, who says both of her parents have been deported.
My parents have already been deported, and this is an injustice that they're doing to us. So right now it's really important for the big cause for people to not stay quiet. If you stay quiet, that means you're okay with what they're doing. And we need to recognize that we are hurting our own people. We are hurting family members.
And you guys stand here with shields in front of us.
Whether or not there is an insurrection.
Well, you'll take a look at what's happening. I mean, I could tell you there were certain areas of Los Angeles that you could have called it an insurrection. It was terrible. But these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers. They get money.
And Mr. President, when is the last time you spoke with Governor Newsom?
A day ago. Called him up to tell him, got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job, causing a lot of death and a lot of potential death.
He chose theatrics over public safety. He federalized another 2,000 Guard members. He deployed more than 700 active U.S. Marines. These are the men and women trained for foreign combat, not domestic law enforcement. If some of us could be snatched off the streets without a warrant, based only on suspicion or skin color, then none of us are safe. Authoritarian regimes begin by targeting people who are least able to defend themselves, but they do not stop there.
This protester named Noah, who says he's a U.S. Army veteran, reminds these soldiers that there are many U.S. soldiers who are the sons and daughters of undocumented immigrants who took the risk of coming to America to give them a better life.
They share the same blood, they share the same skin color, they share the same name. Their kids grew up together, our families, we sheltered them, we hold them. We brought them food, we brought them water. I've been in their homes, they've been in our homes. We're all the same people. We are here. They get to wear that uniform that they're wearing right now because someone came to this country to take that risk and come here to better their life. Their kids, their brothers, their sisters, their aunts, their uncles, everybody is here today because someone was willing to take the risk. We're here for equality. We want peace, that is all.
What do you tell people that come up to you and say, hey, we have no problems with immigrants, but they got to be legal, they have to have documents?
Hey, if that's what you want, then make the process right. I have known people who have been here and they have fought and fought and fought to get their citizenship, and they have done it the right way, and they just get kicked to the side. They don't care about them. Even if you try to do it the right way, they don't care about us. Without the people in the fields working every day, the people who want to do the jobs that nobody wants to do, the difficult jobs in the hot sun, in the summers when it's cold, in states where it snows, and they're willing to take less wages. They want a better life. That is the whole point of this country.
How long will they be there until you think?
Until there's no danger. It's easy. Look, it's common sense. You ask me that question. When there's no danger, they'll leave. You would have had a horrible situation had I not sent them in. Horrible. You'd be reporting on a lot of death and a lot of destruction that's not going to take place. I think if you look, every night it got less and less. They were met with very strong force, the bad people, the bad, sick people that do what they do.
These raids are injustices. We got off to record so people could see what's actually going on. They're human beings just like any of us. We're Hispanics, we help the community. We help by doing the labor that people don't want to do. If you're talking about Christianity, almost all of us are Catholics or Christian. Why are they being hypocrites?
The government doesn't listen to us. Nobody listens to us. Nobody. So it's up to us to stand up for our people, no matter how little this might look bad to everybody else, but to us, this is the only way that we're going to get heard. This is the only way that the government is going to hear us. Whether we get hurt, whether they gas us, whether they throw whatever they're throwing at us, they're never going to stop us. All we have left is our voice. That's all we have left.
So in Los Angeles, we believe that ICE, which is a federal law enforcement agency, has the right to safely conduct operations in any state and any jurisdiction in the country, especially after 21 million illegals have crossed our border under the previous administration. ICE ought to be able to do its job, whether it's Minneapolis or Los Angeles.
I have limited time. I asked a budget
and they
question.
Are being,
Could the Secretary please address the budget? Thank you.
You asked about the situation in Los Angeles, and we believe ICE agents should be allowed to be safe in doing their operations, and we have deployed National Guard and the Marines to protect them in the execution of their duties, because we ought to be able to enforce immigration law in this country.
Protester Andy Ray says her father is a loyal supporter of Donald Trump.
I mean, I asked my dad one time, he's a Trump supporter, right? I said, Dad, if we were born in Mexico, do you think you would hop the border and to get a better life for us? And he's like far right, right? And he goes, you know what? I can't say I wouldn't. So
that's pretty telling.
It's pretty telling.
Imagine you're a child. Imagine them in a cold concrete cell. Guess what? You get to go home tonight to your loving family and a hot meal. Those children don't. Those children are in cells, not knowing what's happening, not knowing where their mother is, not knowing where their father is.
What do you hope is done in the future here in this country?
Honestly, I think the best we really can hope for is slowing down the Trump administration and just making sure he doesn't have a third term, because the man is going for the kingship. And he's going for, getting rid of anyone who opposes him, either by replacing them or by squashing them. This is very much against what the USA was founded on. We do not want kings. We do not want unilateral power with the people not being able to speak. This is supposed to be a country that is by the people, of the people, for the people. This is not for, an oligarch to come over and start raiding our cities and our counties and getting rid of anyone who, as California has been, vocally opposes it.
They need to realize that what they're doing, do these police officers not have a heart? Is that really what they joined the police force for? Is that what the Marines are for? Why are they attacking their own country? Shouldn't we be protecting each other from outsiders?
Go home! Go home! Go home! Go home! Go home! Go home!
Tell Trump what I'm about.
We have been living here for centuries now, for decades now. Before the white people were here, this is a stolen country, so nobody belongs here. We all belong here. No, there's no such thing as an immigrant because we're all immigrants.
Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest!
It's been really a crazy time. As you can see, there's like cars are burned and a lot of things that are just going on right now. That's just unbelievable. I've never seen this in my life, maybe since pandemic of COVID.
I mean, if you've seen the videos of what ICE has been doing to immigrant families and then the response to people's lives being destroyed by ICE, I think it's warranted that there's going to be a violent reaction to it. You're destroying people's lives. And to see Trump sending the National Guard without the advice of the governor, I think is a flagrant disregard of states' rights. And I think it's very dangerous that he's using this as an excuse to militarize police forces.
I think it's a very fine line between the unrest and descending into chaos and maybe a much more violent situation. That's what worries me. When you see what was taking place yesterday, you realize how quickly things can go wrong before you have you have a melee, you have people losing their lives, and that really concerns me.
Protesters have said they'll keep protesting the detainments of immigrants and their treatment by the U.S. administration. Los Angeles authorities and federal troops say they are bracing themselves for what appears to be many more volatile days to come.